Welcome to A-Level and AP Physics. In today's lesson, we will discuss past paper questions from May June 2025. Paper 4, Variant 4. As always we do, we will discuss these questions in detail so you can improve your conceptual understanding of physics and also you can have good understanding of these exam questions. Today's video is the first video and a lot of more videos for 2025 will be uploaded very soon. And also I have uploaded a lot of past paper questions and the solutions on the channel, so you can search for those videos. And if you have any questions, please leave your questions in comments and I will try to answer as soon as possible. Let's study together, let's improve together. Question 1, part A says, define gravitational field. And this is a typical question. You need to understand how to define gravitational field. For Cambridge A-Level Physics, when you need to define gravitational field, you need to simply say force per unit mass. So simply you have to say this is the force per unit mass. So this is how you need to define gravitational field for Cambridge A-Level Physics. And this is written very clear in specifications. So simply you have to say force per unit mass. So this is how we can define gravitational field. Part B says the gravitational field at a distance x from the center of a uniform spherical planet of mass capital M is given by the expression, where g is the gravitational constant and distance x is greater than the radius of the planet. Means the point is outside of the planet. Describe the pattern of the field lines outside the planet that represent the gravitational field due to the planet. So how we can answer? So simply first of all imagine this one is the planet. So this is our planet. So you can imagine this is not hollow. So this is planet. Now we need to draw the gravitational field lines for this one. So we need to understand gravity is attractive force. So you need to draw the arrows inwards. So this is how you can draw the arrows. So you can draw these arrows inwards. So at least 4 or more than 4 arrows you need to draw. But they have to be inwards. And these arrows also have to be equally spaced. So we can draw these arrows. So this has to be equally spaced. So very important one. Inwards and equally spaced. So if you have drawn like this, you will get 2 marks. One for inwards, arrows are pointing to the planet, and the second marks, they are equally spaced. For the second part, we need to explain why for small changes in vertical height near the surface of the planet, g may be assumed to be constant. So again, we will go back to the planet. So we can redraw this one. So this is the planet. Now let's take a point x here. So this is a point and its distance from the surface, let's say this distance, let's say this is delta h. So we can say this distance is delta h. And the distance from the center of the planet, so we can say distance from the center of the planet, let's say this distance is x. So the value of g at the surface and this distance also we can label, we can say this is the radius of the planet. So the value of g at this point at the surface, g will be equal to mass capital G times mass of the planet divided by the distance from the center of the planet. So this is at point R, and value of g at point x, we can say this will be equal to g capital M divided by x square, or we can say this is g capital M divided by, this will be r plus delta h square. Now in the question it is given to us small changes in the vertical height. Small changes in the vertical height means that this delta h is very small, is about equal to 0. So we can simply say it is about equal to 0. Or we can say if delta h is much smaller than r, then we can say that gx will be equal to gm divided by r square, because delta h is about equal equal to 0. So we can say gx is approximately equal to this, and this is equal to approximately g at the surface. So at the surface. So it means that for the small changes, the change in height is negligible. So for any point, for example, if I move from this point to this point, and this change is very small, so the change in value of g will be very small. So we can compare those 2 points. If this change is very small, for example, delta h1, if this change is very small, then the value of g at this point, let's say this point is a, this point is at b, this point is b, so it means value of g at a will be about equal to value of g at point b for small changes. I hope this makes sense to you. Now let me show you the answer, how you can write down your answer. So here is the answer. This is how you can write down. So if you include these points in your answer, you will get 2 marks. So we have mentioned in this case x is equal to r plus delta h. Delta h is very small as compared with r, so g is approximately equal to this one. So for small changes, g is about constant. So if you move 1 meter away from the planet, change in g will be very small. If you move 100 meter, again change in g will be very small, because value of r is much greater than value of 100 meters. So this is the main point you need to understand, and this is also very helpful for some calculations when you need to calculate value of g. Part C says, assume that the earth is a uniform sphere. So very important, you need to understand, we are talking about specific planet now, and for the earth the product gm is equal to this value. Determine a value to 3 significant figures for the radius of the earth. 3 significant figures. So you have to use 3 significant figures in your answer. So for this one, gm is given to us. So simply we can say this is gm. And value of g at the surface of our planet is 9.81 newtons per kg. So this is newtons per kg. Value of g at the surface of our planet. So simply we can say g, this is equal to g times m divided by r square. So we need to find out value of r, so we can rearrange this one. We can write on this gm divided by small g square root of this. Now simply plug in values and we can find the answer. So this is 3.99 times 10 to 14 divided by, we have 6.38 times 10 to 6. So you can also write on this is equal to meters per second square, and then if we solve, we will get our answer is equal to 6.38 times 10 to 6 meters. So this is how you need to answer. Second part says calculate the gravitational potential at the earth's surface, give a unit with your answer. So we need to calculate value of gravitational potential. So how do we calculate gravitational potential? So first of all, you need to understand how to calculate. So this is equal to negative gm divided by r. So it is negative. Gravitational potential due to any planet is always negative. Now simply we need to plug in values and we can find the answer. Gm, the product of gm is already given in the last part, and the value of gm is 3.99 times 10 to 14. The negative sign is here, and value of r we have calculated in the last part, that was equal to 6.38 times 10 to 6. So the final answer will be 6.25 times 10 to 7. Simply you can use calculator. And potential is the gravitational potential energy per unit mass. So the unit has to be joules per kg. So simply you can say joules per kg. So here is our final answer, 6.25 times 10 to 7, and here is joules per kg. So this is how you need to answer. Part D says explain why the gravitational potential energy of 2-point masses is always negative. Potential energy of 2 masses is always negative. For this one, we need to understand, first of all, imagine that this is a planet. So this is planet. Let's say the mass of this one is capital M. At infinity, so this is point located at infinity. At infinity, we take gravitational potential energy, this is equal to 0. So now if we go this way, gravitational force is an attractive force. So work will be done by gravitational force. As work is done by gravitational force, so the gravitational potential energy will decrease. So we need to understand, when work is done by gravity, this is equal to the negative change in GPE. So then the change in GPE is negative. If the work is done by gravity, that is equal to the change in GPE. We can also write down this one. Work done by gravity, this is equal to negative delta GPE. If work done by gravity is positive, change in potential energy is negative, mean potential energy decrease. So below 0 is negative. So the potential energy anywhere other than infinity due to mass always will be negative. So due to two masses, always negative, because at infinity we take GPE equal to 0 and lower than 0 is negative. So this is the point simply you need to understand, and this question is very common in past papers. So you have to be very clear how to answer this type of question. Sometimes they will ask you why gravitational potential energy due to a mass is always negative. So here they make little bit tricky. Explain why the gravitational potential energy of 2 point masses is always negative. So this is the same case. So when you bring any object from infinity to a point between 2 point masses, mean in the gravitational field of 2 point masses, work done by gravity has to be positive. Gravity will do positive work, so the change in potential energy will be negative, or we can say the work done by external agent, that work done is negative. That's reason change in potential energy is negative. So you have to be very clear about this one. So this is very simple. For example, if I'm holding this pen, if I drop the pen, what is happening to the GPE? Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? I hope you will say it is decreasing. Now think about the work done by gravity. Is the work done by gravity is positive or negative? Positive, because the gravity is down, object is also moving down. So work done by gravity is positive. So when work done by gravity is positive, GPE is negative. Now let me show you the answer, how you can write down the answer. So this is how you can write down your answer. So these points you can mention is defined as the work done to bring a unit mass from infinity to a point in the field. Since gravity is attractive, work is done by the field, means GPE decreases from 0 to negative values. So this is how you need to answer. Today's lesson we will just stop here, and the remaining questions I will try to upload as soon as possible. And if you have any questions, please leave your questions in comments and I will try to answer as soon as possible. And if you're looking for more resources such as PDF of past papers, solutions, notes and other resources, you can check Patreon. And the link for Patreon is in the description of this video. See you in next video.